All right, welcome to math. We're in my math class today. So today we're gonna talk about multiplying by 10. And to do that, we are going to use the strips again because it's convenient because they already have 10 in there for us. And so I'm gonna switch this to our other camera here so we can see a whole bunch in a row. And there we go. We might have a problem like this. So let's first, as always, find our dimensions. Now I'm going to give you a little hint. Ooh, that's a strip right there. So we know that this dimension right here, the up and down, is going to be 10. And now we have to find our dimension this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7. We have a 7 by 10. And we need to figure out how many units, or those little pieces right here, that single one is a unit, how many units are in this array. And so you can do it a couple different ways. We can, if you know your facts, you can do 7 times 10. That's my little rainbow right there. If you don't, we can break this up into pieces and know that we have 7 strips, because we said this is 10, so this is our strip, and right here it's saying we have 7 across, and if we break them up, we now have 7 strips. So if you are not sure how to do this, when you can always break it apart and do something that you guys are all great at and count by tens. So we can count them by tens. We can do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. That gives us 70 units. And a unit, remember, is just one of these little small pieces right down here. That is a unit. All right, I'm going to erase real quick. Hopefully that comes off. Ah, didn't come off. Mr. B, we'll just get rid of it and use another one. All right, what if I have a problem that looks like this? Give me a second while I put some more on there. All right. So now I'm going to push them all together here. We have to figure out how many units are in here. And to do that, we always start by finding our dimensions. Let me straighten it up a little bit here for us. We find our dimensions, and well, you guys can see already that right here, we have a strip again. So we know that right here, this dimension on this side for how many units there are up and down is 10. So we have 10 units, and now we need to count across the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, Mr. B, start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 units, or 12 across. And now we have to figure out how many units are in here total. So you can do it a couple ways. And this is just kind of showing us, I can separate them again, so they're all apart. And it's right here. Our math problem is even telling us this. We have 12 strips of 10. So you can count by tens if you need to again, 12 times. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. That gets us our how many units are 120. And you can kind of see what multiplying by 10 does. If you look up here, it just added a 0 to this one up here. So multiplying by 10 is really cool because it makes it easy and fast for it to do it, because you're just taking this number and it's 10 times bigger. So I have 10 of these here, and I just have to add a 0 to know how many are in there total. Not a 0 up there, Mr. B. Whoops, whoops. I'm adding a 0 down here. So I can start with, I have 12 units, and each one has 10. So I can add my 0 to there. Kind of a cool trick. What if Mr. B doesn't actually have this, but what if I had so many of these these strips, and I just kept adding and adding, and it just kept going all the way until there was 820 across. This is just a pretend problem. So there's 820. There's so many, it goes all the way out. How many strips would I have? Yeah, 820 strips, because there's 1 strip, 2, 3, 4. So this dimension matches how many strips I have when I'm multiplying by 10. And so you can count up 820 tens. 1 10 is 10, 2 tens is 20, 3 tens is 30, 4 tens. Kind of not an efficient way when we have a number this big. So again, we can always use my 0 trick. I can write 820 down here, and because I multiplied by 10, we can just add another 0, and I get 8,200 units, or little squares would be in all of these if I added them together. Real quick, I want to show you something that could possibly confuse you, or it could be a really helpful trick. So far, I've always had the strips going up and down, and our dimensions have always been a 10 right here. Sometimes you might have a problem that looks like this. And it's just flipped sideways. So now my strip is here. Now I have my 10s going across, so 10 is now at the top. And now I need to count my units across here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So it's the same thing, because remember, multiplying, we have these little arrows here when we do our rainbow. Multiplying, you can go either way. You can flip-flop it. So you can have 5 times 10 or 10 times 5. So here, I know I have 5 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can count by tens again if you need to. You're just counting them sideways now instead of the up and down way. So that is a real quick problem in math. In whole group, we're going to go over a problem called Flora's problem, and I will need your help for it. So if you can help me with Flora's problem, we're going to be using little things like this. That would be amazing. I'll see you then. Bye.